is your favorite empath, intuitive Kim the Goddess, here to bring your week 3 divine feminine guidance. I hope you guys welcomed in the new year and made your resolutions, set your affirmations, set your financial goals, your personal goals, and are doing your best to stay warm and not get sick in this, this weather. But I hope most of all that you guys have been blessed, right? So we are going to get into week 3 of our divine feminine guidance, and you can go back to week 1 and check out the intro and the information surrounding the decks and our mission for these videos. The purpose of this series is to promote centering our femininity, number one, and helping to get in touch with that feminine goddess that is within us, right? And the overall mission is to connect to source and to connect with yourself. So this guidance is to help you along your own personal journey, right? So we're in week 3. If you're keeping a journal, if you're keeping information, I thought I had a blank notebook, but I do not, and I have to go to the store today, so I will grab one. But I am keeping note of this series, and I do want to do like a check-in or a checkpoint and make some slides so we can also have visual. I like visual as well. So we'll get into all of that, right? So any information you need about myself or this space will also be down in the description box below. Positive energy only, okay? Be open to receive this message. So this week's goddess is Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, okay? So first we had devotion. Last week was embodiment, and this week we are looking at compassion and how Kuan Yin's story can help us to remember things that we are passionate about, but also how we use that compassion. So let's just take a look at her story and what that can teach us. Okay, so see, we went through this last time, didn't we? Hold on. I had already flipped my deck and the card flipped out, so I clicked start on the video, and I should have had this out already. So let's get this. We got to pick up the little one from school in a little bit, but I'm going to get these videos out. All right, so compassion, we got Kuan Yin, and it is 1, 0, and 4. So we have potential, and we also have stability again. So there's a common theme with this numerology throughout these weeks. Potential and stability. Number 1, awakening. It's not the beginning of the year. Is not seasonally the beginning of the year, but this recurring theme of potential and stability and along the lines of this potential, I'm seeing things like clarity, creation, compassion, which is what we are talking about, manifestation and prosperity. Along the lines of the number 4, we have passivity and rest, also having harmony in relationships, partnerships, contemplation, stability, and security. Okay, so I'm going to, when I get these slides done, I'm going to make sure that we'll get deeper into what this numerology means, okay? So hers is 104. We can also add those together to get 5, which I think is adversity. Yes. So as I stated, we are facing a lot of adversity right now, y'all. And before I get into this message, because I be wanting to reflect, and I haven't been doing that on YouTube lately because it's just been a lot going on, and life has been life, and then we're all at some level living the same sort of life. We're just going through different things at different times, and well, sometimes the same thing at different times. But okay, um, there's a recurring theme out in the world, and if you are a passionate follower of my channel, you know that in my readings, I've been speaking of war and the need for humanitarianism and environmental, looking more, being more in tune with what's going on in our environment. And I don't know why that word didn't want to come out, but being present now and seeing all of these things that are happening and understanding, going back to that warning for not the divine feminine but feminine bodies, that there's a recurring theme in this adversity and our stress and our strife related to our masculine bodies and this imbalance of feminine energy and this imbalance of feminine power, right? And maybe that's part of Kuan Yin's story. We'll get into it. I think our we have strengths and we have weaknesses, and sometimes that duality means that sometimes this compassion that we're speaking of, and I haven't read this story as of yet, can be a weakness because it'll allow us to sit back and it'll allow us to accept suffering and pain to our own detriment, right? And I think it's important to start to have conditions for our nurturing, our compassion, not cutting it off, but having conditions, right? Meaning, like we have conditions for our love, meaning that I'm not going to just allow and accept every single thing to my own detriment, to my own fall. If I'm saying using the correct words to explain that. I'm not going to show so much compassion for another person where it weakens my own self-worth, my own self-confidence, it weakens my security, my stability, all of those things, right? And I think as women, we've just been sitting by and allowing life to happen to us for too long, y'all. Like, seriously. And the solution to our stress, our problems, us dying, this whole abortion thing, us having babies, all of these issues is us standing on business and standing in our power and showing that we have a voice and that we live in this world too, and that our position and purpose in this world matters. And even though technically it matters more than our counterparts, we still haven't been bullies. We haven't exercised that power. Let me say that. We need to now step out of gaining the knowledge and doing the work and healing our trauma, because women have been in therapy and we are healing our trauma and we are waking up to what's going on in the world. It's time for us to apply that healing and take action. Like, seriously. If not, then people like Donald Trump and DeSantis and these and the people across seas who are literally, I was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning because y'all know I'm a sapiosexual. Well, I don't even like saying I'm a sapio human, and I like information and I like knowing what's going on, right? And not just looking at it for entertainment purposes, but looking at it from a sociological and a psychological standpoint. And who the hell are these people? Who gave them power? How do they think? How do they move? And what I watched last night was someone in high power overseas speaking about what's going on as far as war and genocide and the gaslighting and the delusion almost pisses you off. And what pisses you off even more is because these are men, and somewhere in women we have this fear, we allow them to just do what the hell they want to do. And why? Why? I understand there's a certain level of fear because we've seen their potential of evil, but we also have strengths, right? And it's time for us to use those strengths to our advantage. I've been talking y'all head off. Let me get into this message, okay? So Kuan Yin represents the presence that listens to, okay. Kuan Yin represents the presence that listens deeply to our prayers spoken from the heart. Kuan Yin, or Kuan Yin, I'm saying it, or with a K, is a incarnation of Avalokitesvara, the Bo, the Bodhisattva of compassion. She is a deity. She looks like a Oriental or Chinese or Japanese deity. You see the cherry blossoms? Y'all, I love cherry blossoms. And this butterfly represents transformation, but she's holding her power. Do you see? Do you see this? This is a chakra, or a I was going to say this is a chakra pose. I was going to say Kundalini, but I don't think that's the correct word. And okay, let's just look. Let's just listen. I'm sorry. She is known as the goddess of mercy and is considered to be the most beloved Buddhist deity. Her name translates into Chinese as the one who preserves the cries of the world. She is often compared to the Virgin Mary in Christianity because she intercedes on behalf of those who call out to her with humility and sincerity. Scholars believe that the Buddhist monk Kumaraja Jiva was the first to refer to the female form of Kuan Yin in his Chinese translation of the Lotus Sutra in 406 CE. Her association with the number 33, we also have the number 33, because she appears 33 times in the sacred text. The Lotus Sutra reveals that the mudra, that's what she's doing. I don't know why I think I was trying to combine mudra and kundalini, and girl, you can't make up words. But thank you, Spirit. The Lotus Sutra reveals that the mudra most often associated with Kuan Yin is the Yoni mudra, which is what she's doing right here, okay? Her cupped hands symbolize the womb, and do y'all see this light? That is what our ovaries look like under ultrasound. If you ever had an ultrasound on your ovaries, this is what those little baby eggs look like, little balls, little marbles of light and energy, right? But her cupped hands symbolize the womb to remind us that we all enter this world through the female form, that power I was just telling y'all about, right? And we need to exercise it not in a masculine way because they do it in a way that is egotistic, misogynistic, and can get to the lines of sadistic. And that's their role. But we also have power, y'all. Okay? The Buddhist saint Mao Shan is believed to have been an incarnation of Kuan Yin. So, what incarnation means is remember, we are spirits, we are energy in a body. So, that means that once you reach a certain form of consciousness and awakening, that light becomes, we're going to say it becomes like a star. Okay. And when you leave the earth, it reincarnates into, it never leaves this plane because it's needed. It's a immortal energy. It's an abundant, infinite energy. Do you understand? So when we're speaking of reincarnation and incarnating, that's what that means. Okay. All right. So Kuan Yin was originally worshipped as a male deity, but at some point during the Northern Sung Dynasty from 960 to 1126, Kuan Yin began to be worshipped as a female. Mao Shan is believed to be the cause of this transformation. The legends of Mao Shan contain beautiful accounts of her saving sailors from drowning in rough seas. I've been seeing that. I saw this documentary on how deep the sea really is, and it terrified me. For some reason, humans, masculine humans, male humans, have this God complex where they think they are bigger than any and everything. But the ocean is bigger than all of us. There's more ocean than anything. And then I'm seeing these cruises, and y'all finding exciting and exhilarating to it, like it's a time and place for everything. And what's happening in the world right now, the climate of the world right now, it's not sit down. Not sit down. We need to fight, but less entertainment and more logic, right? Okay. Anyways, Kuan Yin is associated with jade because of its protective properties. In this case, it's said to help with going under water, both literally and figuratively. What did I just say? Drowning in the ocean or in a flood of emotions. That's the message. Okay, so let's get into the message surrounding this card. So, Kuan Yin is about the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear witness to someone else's pain, which is compassion. To really listen, we have to move from the ego to the soul so that the story we are listening to doesn't become about us and triggers us. So, move from soul. I'm sorry. Let's write this down so we can get it right. Move from ego to soul so that what we're listening to does not become about us or trigger us. So that what we are perceiving, let's say perceiving, does not become about us or trigger us. moving from out of self into a place of light and love. Okay? I'm going to start this over. Quinn is about the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear to someone else's pain. To really listen, we have to move from ego to soul so that the story we are listening to does not become about us or trigger us. This also applies to the moments we are listening to, the story we tell ourselves about who we are. This also applies to the moments when we are listening to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. We are often far harsher and less forgiving to ourselves than we would ever be to someone else. Kuan Yin suggests that we listen simply with curiosity. Listen with curiosity. Curiosity allows us to detach from needing to take the suffering of someone we love personally. Curiosity is a door that leads to compassion. Curiosity is the door that is going to lead us to compassion. Leads us to compassion. Told you I'm going to do a recap. Okay. Curiosity is a door. It is not the door. It is a door. Options. We have options. It's a choice. How we react and how we respond is a choice. Taking it personally is a reaction, and that is a choice. So we're going to choose to step outside ourselves and step in a place of curiosity, because that is the door to compassion. Okay? It frees us from feeling as though we have to react to what we hear or defend and explain our part in their suffering. We can just perceive the pain that they are in. Or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them, which is seeing yourself within someone else. We all have we are all under the same oppression. Fortunately, there are small countries that are not, but if you live in main civilization, we are all under the same oppression. Okay? So look at others with compassion, and instead of looking to react or to try to explain or try to diagnose someone else, just be present in here and just be present. Okay, let me get back to it. We can just perceive the pain that they are in, or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them. We can just be present to what needs to be heard. And use discernment so you know what information is for you and what is not. Okay? But be open to accept all information, because what I know as an empath and a psychic is it may not be relevant now, but at some point it will be. And it may not be relevant to you, but you may encounter someone else that it may be relevant to. Okay? Kuan Yin is the powerful energy of giving witness to our own or to someone else's suffering. Often, just a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into clear light. Kuan Yin is the powerful energy of giving witness to our own and to someone else's suffering. Often, just a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into light. So, our soul voice meditation, or our meditation and contemplation for this week, is going to be, what pain or suffering, you're going to write this question down, can I listen to now with curiosity? So, is there a story, or is there someone trying to convey a message to you that you may have listened with ego or disdain, or listened to react, or listened to give advice, or showed a lack of compassion for, that you can now go back and revisit and listen from a different place so that you can accept it from a different place? Also, going forward, what can you do to remind yourself to listen with curiosity and to just be present to what needs to be heard? Okay. All right. So we're going to get into our affirmation, and got to get on up out of here. Got to get my little one. Tomorrow is my little one's birthday. I'm going to try to get another video out today, but also Cheyenne has soccer. So we're going to hold that thought. Maybe I can get it done tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. All right, so let's get our affirmation done and wrap up this video. So, I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Ashe. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Ashe. Y'all be blessed and stay blessed, because you are blessed. Like and subscribe and share. Namaste.